O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Year, brand new year.
Yes, 2025.
Wow, man, it just seemed
It's
like
amazing.
It's just been running, man.
Man.
So we gotta give our. Oh, let's take. If you have Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or you got the Roku TV app, you got Apple TV, or the SVP TV network app, you can actually call in live and ask whatever questions you want, and we'll answer those questions.
Wow.
Regardless of what we're talking about, we'll answer those questions.
Real time. In
Real time.
Yes.
Real time. Gotta give our shout outs, Jerome. It's been
Sure.
a couple of weeks since we've been here.
Sure.
So give our shout outs to California, shout outs to Arkansas, Little Rock, shout outs to West Memphis, Arkansas, shout outs to Memphis, Shelby County, shout out to Mississippi, shout out to the great state of Missouri. Happy New Year, my wife, Jerome's wife, happy family. Glad to see y'all back.
Oh, wow, there. It's amazing. It's wonderful to be able to say that. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
So we get a chance to try it all over again.
All over again.
And possibly get it right this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Things. A lot of things happen during the holidays.
Sure.
We ended the year talking about not to overdo it.
That's right.
Financially.
That's right.
So that you don't have to worry about filing some debt correction scenarios.
Correct.
But we'll start the new year because a lot of people unfortunately die during the holidays, Jerome.
Daryl, this is a terrible time, but also it's a happy time
Right.
too. And so, as you said, we've already warned them not to get that pressure on you about trying to pay for debt that you overspent, you unable to catch up on your bills.
Mm-hmm.
And so that stresses a lot of people out there.
It does, and we talk about these types of things a lot, Jerome. But there used to be this thing, on your birthday month, check your paperwork.
I like that. That.
But I think that, if you don't do this, you haven't done this, why not start the year off, checking your stuff and making sure your paperwork is in order.
I like that, Daryl.
Yeah.
I like that too because, they say that whenever the time changes back and forth, that's a good time to check your smoke detector battery.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to check some other things. But as we leave out of this calendar year of 2024, going into 25, this is an opportunity to get right some things that maybe you put on the back burner last year. So now we believe that this is a prime opportunity. As Daryl said, get your papers right.
Get your papers right.
What kind of papers are you talking about, Daryl? Let's start with
Well,
that. Okay.
so we talk about this is we have really two main scenarios, Jerome. Things that somebody can do or we can do or somebody can do for us while we're alive.
Yes.
And things that somebody can do for us when we die.
Well, there's an interim spot there too, there.
Okay.
While we're alive, while we are infirmed, and then should you pass away, there's something that there's a document that will carry you from alive to death.
Right.
So,
And so I like what you said, infirm.
yeah.
So normally what I'm talking about is, so the document that you should do while you're alive that will take care of your scenarios if you run into a situation where you lose your faculties, you're unable to do for yourself.
Absolutely.
You got some sicknesses, some medical issues that you can't take care of. You always need to do a power of attorney.
Absolutely.
And you should have one on file all the time, because nobody knows. And if somebody knows when they're going to have a bad year, or their health going to decline, holler at your boy.
Well, I wouldn't want to know there.
Yeah, well, holler at me and let me know that you got that kind of skills, because I don't gamble.
Right.
But you may be a person I need to get some numbers from so I can play the lottery.
Yeah, I like that.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, as I sit here today, all the papers I'm telling you, a power of attorney, a will, I have those things.
All right.
And and I say that with, I mean, tomorrow's not promised to anybody, but I say that on the heels of I know that I'm in good health. I know that I've done what I'm supposed to do. And I know that I'm okay.
Right.
But at the same token, nobody knows what tomorrow's gonna bring.
That's well, they're not only tomorrow, but later on this
Today.
afternoon.
Today ain't promised. They say tomorrow ain't promised.
Right.
Today ain't promised.
That's exactly right.
So it's not promised that you're gonna get through the night.
For sure. For sure.
So with that in mind, a power attorney, and here's what it does, Jerome. It says to anybody that I have put Jerome in place to take care of my affairs if I can't take care of them myself.
I love that. It's in other words, it's to the world, because it has power that will even transcend localities because of the breadth of it. So it tells the world that there is someone who will be able to make decisions for me, even though I am maybe incapacitated at the time.
Right.
And so that's what I like too about it there too, because there is a limitation on it. I hear people saying all the time, do I really have to continue with this power of attorney? And the answer is no, because there is a limitation to it. And you talk about it all the time too, Daryl. There are several ways to end a power of attorney relationship. And the most striking one is what? Is to
just tear it up.
Rip that joker up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm cool now. I'm straight. And there you are. You are free. And then the other one is a revocable. You can do it in. That's probably just add an additional step that you really don't need.
It is.
Right.
Because look, and I always tell people, and even when I bring clients in my office to do a power attorney, I actually give them the examples.
Right.
I say you can get rid of power attorney. Simple. You can just take it and tear it up.
Right.
And it gets rid of it. You can take an ink pen and just draw a line through it, and it's done. Or you can ball it up, and it's done. And the thing about balling it up, the reason why that means something, nobody's going to take a crinkled document as a document.
I'm just thinking there.
Yeah. You better go home and iron it.
I don't know what I was about to say.
But you can just ball it up.
Right, okay.
And, obviously, and even if somebody went home and ironed it,
right,
it's still going to have those defects in it. Because
I agree. Yeah. I agree that it calls into question what your intent was, and based on our conversation tonight, it to all persons who's viewing it, it appears that the intent was to revoke it. Right.
Yeah. And I always tell people, and I've done this, and we all do. You prepare a power of attorney. The first thing you do is give it to somebody.
Right.
The thing about it is the power of attorney is yours.
That's right.
It should stay in your possession or somewhere where you have access to it.
That's right.
And if something goes wrong, you want to let somebody else know, whoever's going to be your power of attorney, where it's at.
And I'm kind of thinking about that a little bit too right now. I think there may be some occasions where you may or may not alert someone that you have it.
Yeah.
And so among your books, papers, and effects, it could very well be there. And so, but always let someone know where those items are so someone can go through your things and find it. because in today's world, people will. There are some situations where people have been taken advantage of.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
You follow where I'm going?
No, I get that, and that's always a possibility.
Right.
It's disgusting, but it is a possibility.
That's right.
But the thing that you always want to look at that when you're talking about this power of attorney, and I make jokes about this, you don't want to give your power of attorney to Pookie.
And the thing about it too is, as you said, even though it's not, it's a terrible situation.
Yeah.
People will take advantage in a situation should they become desperate enough to do it. And so that's why we need these documents in place to protect our elders from abuse, to protect a person who's going through a situation, to protect them as well, and to protect yourself. So this document is so powerful until you have to take some time to make a decision about who it is that you want to give all of this authority over you.
Yeah. And again, I make it clear. If a person ain't been worth a poop all their life, if you get, disabled or have mental or mental issues or whatever, and somebody needs to take over, that person ain't been worth a poop all your life, ain't all of a sudden gonna be an ethical person.
It's no way.
They ain't been worth a poop the entire time, all your life. And you say, well, Ray gonna be, he gonna do okay. No, he ain't.
But there, and I know that you've done this in your practice, that you really do have to spend some time with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Making sure that they really don't want to realize, they don't want to accept the fact that Pookie is not responsible enough to have this position.
Yeah.
So it takes a minute to do that, and that's why the confidentiality between the attorney and client is so great, and it's our responsibility to probe and make sure that the respondent, I'm calling the respondent, understands how powerful this document is, and that it's not to be given to someone lightly.
Yeah. So a power attorney allows a person to do whatever it is that you could do.
That's right.
So there's two scenarios. And these are two scenarios I get wrong. I get a scenario, they come into my office and say, hey, my father needs somebody to take care of his affairs, and, he's bedridden right now. Can I get a power of attorney? Hey, no, you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
It's too late, because he's not competent.
Well, just because he's bedridden may not necessarily.
No. That's why I said potentially.
Yeah, right. Okay,
potentially.
Right.
Potentially.
Right.
But the thing about it is, then if he's bedridden,
he can't come to your office.
He cannot come to my office. And contrary to popular belief, I don't go to hospitals and nursing homes and things of that nature and do power attorneys. I just don't do it.
When I was a younger lawyer, I did do it.
Yeah.
I did go to the hospitals. I did go to nursing homes, and I would go to a home and do one too. When I was a younger lawyer, and I don't know whether that's a good practice or not today.
I did it once or twice.
Yeah.
And I decided after I did it the once or twice, I didn't want to do it again.
I got you.
And I think that, I got a little concerned that they may not be in the right frame of mind to do these documents.
I got you.
Because you're in a hospital, Jerome. You're in a hospital because you're having a medical issue.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing you want to be talking about and thinking about is my affairs.
That's true.
I have an issue that I need to be dealt with, and I don't want to be dealing with my affairs right now.
That's true.
So I don't like to do that.
That's interesting, Daryl, because so I believe that the floor is, so to speak, is lucidity at the time.
It is.
Because
you believe that, yeah.
I believe,
and that's where we agree.
Right.
We disagree on. I mean, because you do. You be like, if somebody has dementia on Alzheimer, just because they have dementia or Alzheimer's doesn't mean that they don't have lucidity periods.
That's right.
And I don't disagree with that.
That's right.
I prefer, and after you and I talk about this,
Right.
if I know that you have Alzheimer's or dementia, I will normally not do a power of attorney or any documents for you.
And there. Now, I'm glad we went further, because you're right. If you know that the person has Alzheimer's, person has dementia, the person has some other thing, then I agree.
But that's not necessarily true.
But it hasn't been diagnosed.
Right.
But so you believe,
Yeah.
it's two different things.
Right.
If it has been a diagnosis of those issues, that's one thing. But the person has temporary lapse of memory. Sometimes the person may forget what they were saying. They may get lost or something like that. I don't know that would prevent me from doing
and I think that the rule is,
Yeah.
even if they have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia, that doesn't prevent you from doing a power of attorney or will. For them.
Okay.
Because the question is, again, I won't do it.
Okay, I got you.
But
Yeah.
there's arguments that people that have dementias and Alzheimer's have lucid periods.
That's right. That's for
And
sure.
Can they develop a will or draft a will or power of attorney during a lucid period? The question and answer to that question, I think, is yes.
I believe more so with the will, because the will says that all you have to do is know who the recipient of your bounty, and alert times 3, and I think that qualifies for a will. But maybe a power of attorney, it may be an even more stringent.
Well,
test there.
I
What
think
do you
there's
think?
an argument that there's a more stringent test for a will.
Yeah, you
'Cause,
think?
one of the things you says in a will is, I'm above the age of 18 and I'm of sound mind.
That's right. That is true. Yeah.
So I think the power of attorney, I think the lucid periods may be okay.
I got you.
I think that, but when you do a will, if you have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or dementia, I don't know the answer to that question. Because one of the questions on there is, I'm above the age of X and I'm of sound mind. Now, what does that mean?
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was about to say that, Daryl. That's a Pandora's box.
It is. And I was of sound mind when I did it.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think you're right, Jerome. If you say, what is sound mind?
Right.
Well, when I did it, I was lucid.
Right.
So I was of sound
That's right.
mind.
That's right.
I knew where I was. You would call it a level of consciousness.
Yeah, alert times 3.
Alert times 3.
Right.
Yeah.
But and also too, Daryl, is the fact that you got 2 witnesses
Yeah.
who were present at the time
Right.
will testify
Well.
that they were alert times 3
Right.
during the time that they
Right.
signed it, because they all have to be in the same room
Right.
at the same time and watch each signature.
Right.
So I think that gets you over that hurdle.
No, I think
But-
I may agree with you on that.
But as far as a power of attorney, none of that's required.
No.
It's just what the preparer and the signer.
Right.
So
Again, so that's the reason why there's people do power of attorneys different ways. There are some people that go online to that lawyer I hate. They go online to Google,
it's a mistake.
and then they pull down a power of attorney, and then they get their loved ones to sign that power of attorney and get somebody to come in off the street and notarize.
Yes, but the problem is that all of these documents are state specific,
Right.
and so you got to be very careful when you go to the lawyer online. It's just Google. Now, Google has some pretty good things, but when you're talking about a document that's going to define how the rest of your life is, even beyond, I don't think you want to gamble with.
You don't want to Google it. You don't want to Google it.
I don't think you want to
Well,
gamble.
I don't know. So, I have a nephew that's really big into AI.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah.
And I don't know when the last time you really used Google. But now, if you go and use Google, it gives you an AI answer.
Oh really?
Yeah, and the AI answer is not too bad, Jerome.
Yeah.
I've actually asked Google some questions or typed in something, and it gives me an AI answer, and then along the side, it gives me some cases to support that AI answer.
Right.
So, Google has, I still hate that lawyer now. That's still one of the lawyers I can't stand now.
Right.
But the AI is making it better.
Yes.
My nephew was telling me that for a while, AI had passed, all these different tests, and they passed the MCATs, and they had passed all the. They said they finally got AI, and AI can pass the bar.
Oh, really?
Before AI couldn't pass the bar.
Well, now they can do it.
Yeah, AI can pass the bar.
Wow. Well, I tell you, I've used it several times, and I'm very impressed with the response, how accurate it is, and how soon you can start spitting out the information to you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. It is.
I mean, and that's where we are now in the first century.
I don't know, but we're in 2025.
Yeah, so
and we way in.
Yes.
But the thing about this power, power attorneys, I tell people it's just like a contract.
Mm-hmm.
You and I are going to start a business together, Jerome, right?
Right.
We're going to put everything in writing right now.
Right.
What happens if we disagree? What happens if this happens? What happens is that, we're going to put all the contingencies in writing. And the reason why we want to do that is because when we get sideways, we ain't going to agree on nothing.
Which is ultimately going to happen.
It's going to happen. We're going to disagree at some point.
That's right.
Well, a power attorney is the same way, Jerome.
That's right, I agree.
While you are in sound mind, identify who you want to oversee your estate.
I agree with that, Darryl.
Or oversee your affairs for you if you become incapacitated while you're alive.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And then, because, again, one day you hear, one day you got a stroke. One day you hear you got a heart attack, Bell's palsy, any little thing, a cancer diagnosis, any little thing can throw you off your game plan, and you need help.
And Darryl, what's so interesting about it? It's not age related at all.
It's not.
In fact, young people are even more so having these issues because they're exposed to so much stuff now.
Yeah, they're exposed to. I'm gonna be politically correct. Because I always say they're exposed to stupid. Because there was a scenario where you can't tell somebody anything, and I'm gonna do whatever. So I'm gonna take more risks.
That's right.
The younger generation has a tendency to take higher risks.
That's true.
And it's that higher risk that sometimes will get you in a scenario. So you should have a power attorney. You should have a will, regardless of what your age is.
And no matter how young you are, there's no such thing as having 9 lives.
Well,
you got the one, and that's it. And the question becomes is, how much do you want to gamble on being able to survive a situation by being risky?
Yeah.
And so we're asking you now to think about that. Not that you are risky, but the fact that at some point you're going to be needing these documents that we're talking about, and so we kind of got stuck on the power of attorney. But there are a couple of more that we need to move on with.
So that's number one,
right?
A power of attorney. Hey, do not confuse this. Let me tell you what I mean when I say do not confuse this. A power of attorney dies when the person dies.
Oh, without a doubt.
A lot of times I hear people say, after somebody, well, I was his power attorney. I appreciate that.
I hear it all the time.
That don't mean nothing when a person dies. A power attorney dies. Hey, I'm giving you my power.
Right.
So if I don't have no power because I'm not here, what power do you have?
I like that. But also, too, we didn't bifurcate it, too. There is a power of attorney for health care.
It is.
And there's a power of attorney for resources as well.
Yeah.
So that's the limitation many times. The limitation is that you can make healthcare decisions with a power of attorney, but you can't touch the corpus, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the other one is a durable
power attorney.
and it's all encompassing.
Right.
So make sure that if the person is important enough for you to make healthcare decisions, see if they're not also important enough or capable enough of making decisions about your estate too as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a durable power attorney. So, and Jerome hit it on the head, you can do a power attorney for anything. I can authorize you to give you the right to do
That's right.
health care. I can authorize to sell real estate.
That's exactly
I can
right.
authorize you to open and close bank accounts, sell property, any of those things. Normally, when I do what they call a durable power attorney, and one of the things that a durable power attorney, it gives you almost every right.
That's right.
And you can actually throw in there healthcare decisions.
That's right.
You know, because a healthcare power attorney is only for healthcare.
That's right.
And if you just say it's only for healthcare and it can do nothing else, well, you can actually take a durable power attorney, put one additional clause in there,
right.
and for healthcare decisions.
That's right.
It's good.
That's exactly right.
And in fact, a durable power attorney, what makes it durable is it bends and does all these different things, number one. And number two, in the event that you're incapacitated, it cannot or is not, invalid.
That's right.
Because you're disabled.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. In fact, it seems to be even more significant
Yeah.
because it can do what you no longer can do
Exactly.
because you are incapacitated.
Incapacitated.
And so it's just a wise move to do that.
Right.
But there are also sometimes before we get there, there's also some things that you can do too to protect yourself by having any accounts that you may have. You can do PODs on those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is, audience, that's called a payable upon death.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the person whom you've chosen needs to do then is to present a death certificate, and they can
Yeah.
go into your accounts and get funds in order to pay for funeral arrangements and whatever else and other words, and pay some bills too, while we're waiting on insurance decisions to occur.
Yeah, and you hit it on the head because, Jerome, I when I'm explaining to people, I'm explaining those things. There's other ways around that, adding people as a joint account.
That's right.
Adding people on PODs or POAs on your account where they can do different things. But those always has caveats.
That's
You
right.
got to be careful.
That's right.
Again, a joint account, you don't want to put somebody's name on it that you don't trust.
Mm.
Because a joint account means that I can put money in, I can take money out. Regardless of if I put your money in,
Then you can draw your
I
money.
I can draw your money, my
Right.
money, and everybody's money out of the account if it's a joint account.
But there,
So you got to be careful when you're doing those types of things.
have you seen too where some people, a person is taking the elderly person to the bank,
Yeah.
drawing out money, and for some reason the bank teller is allowing this to occur, and it's obvious on his face that person is not even cognizant
Yeah.
of what's going on.
Just I had a case like that.
Is that not a penalty for that?
I had a case that way, and the question became really how to put the bank on the hook. Because what role, what duty, what responsibility.
Yeah.
And if it's not your bank, right, then because a lot of times the question becomes how that works. If it's your bank versus as if the person that's taking you to the bank that's frauding you is if it's their bank.
Right.
If it's your bank, obviously they would have some kind of fiduciary duty towards you. But the question becomes, what does that look like?
Oh my goodness.
And I tell you, man, I did a case like that. Extremely uphill battle.
Difficult.
Extremely uphill battle.
Oh my goodness.
You
It seems like that would be just a slam dunk.
No.
You took the person there. He was incapacitated. She was incapacitated. She had no idea what was going on.
Well-
You couldn't get. Could you get a signature?
Well,
Who signed the documents?
Here's how that looks, and it's funny you say that, Jerome. The funny you say that, it's banks are not doctors.
Oh,
Banks
okay.
are not the keeper of records and all this other stuff. So determine whether somebody's lucid, the abilities to make decisions, that's not what they do.
I got you.
And so that's a higher standard. So look, we're going to come back next week, and we talked about power attorneys. We can come back next week and we'll talk about wills. We're going to talk about living wills. We're going to talk about conservatorships.
I like that.
All the things that you need to do
I like
and
that.
put your affairs in order. So thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next week.
Can you actually imagine hosting